All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm not sure if that was really high pitched, but whatever. Anyway, good evening, everyone. How's your Monday so far? I'm back for yet another Motivation Monday, and I think I forgot the banner, but never mind. I'll be talking about Motivation Monday today, and of course, I'd like to greet everyone in the audience, and of course, I'm gonna be using that hashtag 8 p.m. Ivory time. Thank you so much, Sir Joseph. Thank you for that. And of course, hi Cassie. Thank you so much for tuning in. And hello, Ma'am Cla. Good evening po. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, ang daming tonight. Hello, Ma'am May. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right. And of course, we are going to be talking about Motivation Monday. Wait, let me just put my banner on because I think I forgot. I think I forgot to place this one. Okay. So far, how's your Monday going? I hope everyone's excited for Monday. I was really very excited for Monday because I received several good news last week, and one of those good news is gonna commence today. Well, hopefully it did, but anyway. And also, I'm gonna be having several things to do this week, and I'm really excited because just a change of scenery, a change of a change of a lot of things. Oh, something's wrong with my back end. Hold on. Okay, so I'm doing this live because why not? I'm editing this one. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so I'm really just so grateful for last week because I received several good news, and this week I'm also very excited because because I had a lot of things going on, and it's something that you should always look forward to Mondays. I'm not sure if you're always looking forward to Mondays, but I'm always looking forward to Mondays. And Monday is actually my favorite day of the week aside from Sunday because Sunday is family time and Monday is hustle time. So it's really fun. So, yes, I hope everyone's really safe and sound because I know it's been raining. At least from where I'm at, I'm at the south of Manila, and it's raining really hard earlier. So I hope everyone's just warm and comfy. So and yet and it's another time for Motivation Monday. I'm Irene. I'm a real estate broker in the Philippines. I'm also a motivational speaker and a writer. So yeah, let's have a conversation tonight. And we are going to talk about we're going to talk about potentials. How do we really know our potentials? Like the main motivation of this topic for tonight is really so much about when I talk to people. When I talk to people, they kind of most of the people that I talk to always tell me that they don't know their potentials and they're not really aware of them. And of course, you have to know your potentials because that's the only way you can move forward, or maybe you can be successful in life if you know where your potentials are, or you know what your potentials are. I start my but before I start this conversation, let me also say react to this one. Yes, I've been so busy. Like I've been working since 5 in the morning, I think. And yes, I'm just so happy that Monday is happening. Hello, Sir Noel. Thank you so much. Good rainy Monday night. I know, yeah, it's been raining. Ang babaeng maraming potential. Thank you. Do I have that? Of course you have. Everyone has it. Okay, that's why we're having this conversation. Hello, Sir Noel. Welcome back to my channel. Absent ka last week. Nag-check attendance. So, okay, let's have this. All right, so how do we really know our potentials? Oh my gosh, my banner is really huge. Maybe I should try this one. Okay, there you go. So, yes, again, I'm Irene, and thank you so much for tuning in. So, join this conversation tonight as I talk about potentials. But before I start the conversation about potentials, what does potentials mean? What do potentials mean? Yeah, yeah, may penalty pag absent. Focus on your strengths. Okay, how do you actually know what your strengths are, right? So sige, let's do this conversation. Okay, so first we have to define what potentials are. So, what's a potential? It's a latent quality or ability that may be developed and lead to failure, to lead to failure, lead to future success or usefulness. So, let me do that again. Potential is latent qualities or abilities that may be developed and lead to future success or usefulness. So, that's coming from Oxford Dictionary. So, latent, what does it mean by latent? It's something that's hidden. Okay, so these are hidden qualities. That's why they're called potential because you haven't really used them yet. So it's concealed in a way. So that's why we are going to talk about this so that we will know how to reveal them so that they're no longer potential, but they're already what we call as strengths. Cup of coffee. Well, I'm just so excited to talk tonight. Oh my goodness. Okay, cup of coffee na lang. Naku, hot chocolate. Because because it's a rainy Monday evening. Okay, so also I'm not a big coffee drinker, but yeah, I like coffee too. Okay, so why do we need to know our potential? Because most when you talk to people, one of the things that they will tell you probably is, when you ask someone and ask them about this, what are you really really good at? They would usually ignore the question and they will, be very humble. I don't know if that's humility or sometimes I can also call it as somehow, being ignorant of yourself because you don't know what you're good at. And, it's not a bad thing to be ignorant about yourself, but it can be bad if you don't show any intention of revealing what you have. Pakilala move na lang. Sige, pwede. Okay, so yeah, so why do we really need to know our potential? Well, the first one is to achieve greater heights. Okay, how do we achieve greater heights if you don't know our potentials? And potentials can be converted to strengths. If you know them, you can convert it to strengths. But if you don't know them, then they're just potentials. They're sleeping. They're like an asset that you're not using. They're like a house that you bought that you're not living in or you're not renting out. It's pretty much useless. You have this potential and yet you're not using them, so you won't be able to achieve greater heights. And next, okay, I'm having a delay in here. Okay. Also to know your personal abilities and interests. When you talk to people, well, when I talk to people, this is what I notice that they're not really sure about their personal abilities and well, they know their interests, but they don't know what their strong interests are. But you have to know them because, again, this is what will propel you to your success. If you don't know the tools that you're going to use to be successful, then you're not going to be successful. Does that make sense? Okay, so yeah, to know your personal abilities and interests. Another thing is, I think I'm talking too fast. Am I talking too fast? You have to let me know. Okay. Next is, of course, your potentials are not really yours to keep. Okay. I have been told several times that our potentials are actually not solely for us. It's also for the benefit of everyone around us. If not for everyone around us, it's also for the community or for the country that you're serving in, right? So you have to bring value to the world by using your potentials. If you don't if you don't find out about your potentials, how do you bring value to the world? So whatever value you bring to the world, you're using your potentials for it. For example, I'm not okay, I'm not sure if you will agree with me on this, but for me, well, I talk I talk a lot. Like I talk for a living. I don't talk a lot when in person, but I talk for a living. That's why. So I'm getting tired about talking, but so it's really just a way of life. But whatever. So when we are whatever, I'm kind of okay. Okay, so because people told me that you know what, I think you have a talent or you are good in speaking. How about you use this for teaching? And so I was able to bring value using my speaking skills. But you know what, a couple of days ago, I actually had a glimpse of transcript of records. Let me share this with you because I find this really ironic. So I was looking at my transcript of records in college, and then I saw that my public speaking is my second lowest grade in college. The first one, if you want to ask me, okay, you can guess what's the first one. Okay, sige, let's wait. What do you think is my lowest grade in college? Sige nga. What's my lowest grade in college? So second to that is public speaking. Just imagine how bad I was in public speaking when I was in college, and to think that it was a major subject actually, because I was an English major in college, and public speaking is one of those major major subject. So yeah, so that was my lowest, my second lowest grade. Filipino. Hmm, pwede. But no, it was actually algebra. So that's my lowest grade in college algebra. That's like math one. And then my second lowest grade is when I was in third year. That was public speaking. And public speaking is actually a major subject. And I was really crying about it because, if you have like a lower grade in your major subject, it's gonna affect your life in college. Like for me, when I was still in college, when I was still in school, grades were really a big deal for me. So yeah, so I was really grade conscious about it, and having a very low grade in public speaking, it's like devastating for me. So anyway, so why am I saying this story? Because during that time, I felt like I wasn't a good speaker at all. But I was also in the debate team. I was also speaking in theater. I was doing a lot of things actually. But I felt like I wasn't enough. Like my public speaking grade, looking at my public speaking grade was like devastating for me because I thought that that would measure my skills, right? So anyway, so right after college, I realized that, your grades do not really define you. It's a measure in college, but it doesn't, it's not the basis for your success right after college. So several people told me, specifically my mom, especially my mom. My mom was really my biggest fan for all time. So she kept on telling me, you're really good in speaking. Maybe you should teach. You can try teaching. And so I was teaching ever since 2008, and it's already 2021. So yeah, so you can bring value to the world with your talents and with your potentials. So yeah, that was a very long story, I think. And yeah, so also to know your purpose, because we are not here for ourselves alone. I think we've already learned about that. It's already a cliche, but when you have your talent, when you have your potentials, you will also be able to find out your purpose. There are so many people out there who feel so sad, who feel so small, who feel so little of themselves because they don't know their purpose. If you know your purpose, your bigger purpose in this world, you will not feel that you're isolated, or you won't feel like you don't mean anything to anyone because you know your purpose. So you really have to find out your potentials, right? Okay, bakit maingay yung chat box ko? Yes, tama yung potentials. Nade-discover yan, kaya need malaman at magamit. Yung background may pa-lights on at lights off. Ano yun? I don't know. And good evening to all Ivory News. I don't know, may fans club na ba ako? Thank you, Sir Sunlight. Thank you so much. Hello, Miss Jennifer. Thank you for tuning in. Loud and clear. Grabe, may fans club na ba sa ano? Nagtatayo na ba ako ng sarili kong fans club? Okay, next is, again, to know your purpose. Next will be to motivate yourself. Okay, it's really hard to motivate yourself, especially at this point in time amidst the pandemic where we are all working from home, a 360-degree shift in our lifestyles, a 360-degree shift from routines. So there's a lot of work to be done. But when you know your potential and you know how you can use them, you can definitely motivate yourself just by thinking about all these things that you can do with or without the pandemic. Most of us are actually just using excuses. We always give excuses to so many people why we can't do this, why we can't do that. But it's really not something that will help you propel towards your goal. If you really want to achieve your goal, you have to know your potential so that, okay, so that you always have a motivation why you're doing the things that you're doing. Hello, Sir Taya. Good evening po. Okay. This is fun. There's a lot of people in the audience. Hi, everyone. Say your highs and hellos on the comment section below. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, just let me know if I'm talking too fast because, yeah, I talk too fast, especially in person. Like, I talk really fast. But yeah, you just have to tell me if I'm not really audible. Another thing that we another reason why we need to know our potential is because we need to develop our characters. When I was in college, I'm not as outspoken. Well, I was already outspoken back then, but I'm not as fierce as I am now compared to several years ago because I know my potential. I know what I can bring to the table, and I know my strengths. So nobody else can tell me that I won't be able to do it, or I won't be able to succeed in something because I personally know what I can bring to the table. If you know what you can bring to the table, there's nobody else who can tell you that you cannot do it or that you cannot succeed. Just know your potential. I mean, just know your strengths, and nobody else can tell you that you're weak at something. People cannot use your strengths against you. People can use your weakness against you, but people can never use your strengths against you because they can't overturn that because you personally know that you personally know what your strengths are. So you get what I'm saying, right? I was distracted by the blinking light. Yeah, now I understand. what's the what's the on and off now. I see them. Okay. Hi sis, thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. So yes, so we really need to know our potential so that we can develop into the person that we want to become. So, is there something wrong with the person that you are now? That's not what I'm saying. I mean, you're perfect the way you are. No, not you're nearly perfect the way you are now, but you can be better, and you can be greater than what you are now when once you unleash your potential. Okay, because you will always have a room for improvement. Always. Do not ever let anyone tell you that this is the end of your career, or this is the end of your personality development, or whatever, character development, because our learning never ends. We should always be on the lookout for any aspect in ourselves that we can improve on. Like, for example, this is just an example, but it doesn't have to be this materialistic. Or yeah, so I used to not know how to do my makeup, but I learned how to do my makeup without really altering my face, because that's what makeups usually do. what that's what makeups can usually do. They can change your features. But what I did, when I discovered how to do makeup, that it will just highlight my best features and just hide some of the imperfections, and I was able to do it. So there's no such thing as an end to something, that you know as an end to our personal development. There's always a room for development, especially in our character as well. Maybe some of us here, maybe some of you there out there who are listening are shy type. Well, let me tell you this, I'm also one. I'm also an introvert. But it doesn't mean that I can talk to people. It doesn't mean that I can express myself. I can be an introvert and still express myself in a polite way, of course. But yeah, so hopefully that works. Sir Joseph. Yeah, di ba? Medyo nagbi-blink-blink pala siya. Hindi ko alam kung ano nangyayari dyan sa likod. Hello, Sir Pagmanoha. Good evening po. Yeah, I think I'm talking too fast. I'm just so excited to talk, I think. Okay, so how do you know your potential? Okay, so I was talking to one of my friends earlier about, potentials. And I was like, are there any other potentials that I can use or that I can unleash? Because I think I pretty much I already have a lot, right? No, but that's just for me. I mean, I assess myself, and I also check on myself whatever potentials I do have. But yeah, how do we really know our potential? So let's take a look at this, and if this resonates with you, or if you can relate to it, just join the conversation because we are all here for this conversation. Kung nakaka-relate kayo, may gusto kayong mga experiences na gustong i-share, just post them on the comment box. Okay, especially dun sa mga may mga anak din, mga teenager maybe or youngsters maybe, you can definitely share this video and let them, let them see for themselves. When you're a kid, your tendency is to really just explore on a lot of things, and if you have a kid who's exploring on his or her potential, this video is definitely for your kid. Hello, Ma'am Tendensya. Good evening po. Okay, how do we know our potential? The first one is self-discovery. And okay, just like the previous episodes, I always say this, self-discovery or finding out more about yourself is a lot of work. It's really a lot of work. It's like getting to know your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or your wife, but but harder work because you get to know yourself more, and there will be qualities or characteristics that you wouldn't like about yourself, and it's going to be challenging because there are so many qualities that you wouldn't like about yourself, but it's also good because when you know your qualities, I mean, you can work it out, like you can improve on it, instead of denying that you have those qualities. Okay, so self discovery, how do you discover it? Well, there's a lot of ways on how to discover your potential, I mean yourself. um you can take you can take personality development quizzes, personality quizzes online. You can have them. You can also take Enneagram. I don't know if I said that correctly. So if you're familiar with Enneagram, you can also take that one. You'll get to know more about yourself. You can also use self-help books, which you can use as a reference. You can research basically by finding out several books that can help you out because there are so many resources. I mean, nobody can tell me that they don't have resources. We have the internet. Unlike in the 90s, we have to go to the library to find out about the books that we want. I mean, there's ways on how to do your research, namely Google. You can do that. If you're really interested to get to know yourself more, you'll you'll definitely find a way. So it's just like stalking your crush. You're stalking yourself. Does that make sense? It's like I'm trying to do some parallelism here, right? Getting to know your inner you. Thank you so much, Mom Cla. That's right. You have to get to know you before you get to know other people. Focus on yourself first, especially if you're trying to find a better girlfriend. You can definitely explore about yourself first so that you can get to know more about yourself, and now you can have your standards set. Some of our relationships fail. It's not really because we are not it's not really always the reason. Sometimes we have broken relationships because we didn't find out more about ourselves, and we didn't find out more about the qualities that we want in other people. We're just so focused. I mean, we didn't find out more about our personal qualities to match the other person. Kasi ganito, di ba? We always pray na, sana, for example, sana guwapo, matangkad, matalino, or whatever. And then you never really improved yourself. Parang ang dami mong requirements, parang yung standards mo para sa sarili mo mababa. Hindi nag-match doon din sa standard nung isa pang tao. Remember when you're entering into a relationship, although medyo malayo na to sa topic ko, when you're entering into a relationship, you have to know the hindi naman yung isang tao yung ko-consider. Yung taong yun, i-consider ka rin kung match ka. So sometimes, some relationships don't work out because you don't know yourself and then you engage in a relationship. Okay, so let's stop blaming other people have failed relationships. Sometimes it also begins with us. those kinds of failed relationships, because we didn't know what we want before we engaged in a relationship. So yeah, self discovery is really one of the ways in knowing your potential. Okay, next would be defining your goals. Okay, so when you're trying to, okay, hold on. Excuse me. Okay, sorry, I had to turn off my camera. When you're trying to find out about your goals, I mean your potential, you have to define your goals. And what are your goals? I mean, do you plan on like succeeding in your career, or maybe in your work, or maybe in school? Because there are age bracket are you in? Like when you're in your 20s, it'd be different. When you're in your 30s, it's gonna be different. So every like decade of our lives, you have different goals. So each goals would require you to have balance there. Some honest or whatever your goals are. So definitely you have to know towards achieving those goals. Okay, next is you have to have an initiative. You have to take action. You have to you, it still works. I think I'm losing my internet connection. So yeah. So you have to know, you have to initiate, you have to take action. You just don't think about it. You also act on it. Let me share that again. I think I'm having a very bad internet connection. Okay. So hopefully it works. Okay. Okay. So if you're planning, or if you're planning to do something, if you have a goal, you also have to take action. You have to know what you really really want and then act on it. You just most of the time we know what we want. I'm not sure if I'm still there, so just post a message if you can still hear me, because I think I'm losing my signal. Okay, I'm back. I had to transfer to another internet connection, so yeah. So how do you know your potential? Another thing is we have to challenge ourselves. We don't just stick to what we got used to, because most of the time we're just so comfortable. We're just so comfortable with what we have, or we're just so comfortable with our skills that we don't really um like broaden our horizon. We just stick to it, and we just stick with it for the rest of our lives. But there are so many potentials. Again, every age range, you have several potentials to unlock. So you just really have to find out more about yourself so that you can also challenge yourself as well. Yes, that's also true. How to know your potentials is when you focus on your strength and God-given talent, work it and enrich it. Actually, that's the thing. Sometimes we don't really know what our strengths are because we don't really find out about it. So that's really something that we have to work on to find out about your strength first so that you can focus on it. Because most people, especially those no, Mark, thank you so much for that input, by the way. So yeah, so most people that I talk to, especially during coaching, they're like, I don't know what my strengths are. So yeah, so you really have to reveal them first before you can focus on them. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, thank you. And of course, you have to make conscious efforts. And when we say conscious efforts, you really have to know what the steps are in doing something so that you can make conscious efforts about it. For example, as I mentioned earlier, um, the example that I had was the makeup, right? I used to not wear makeup because I'm not so keen on it. But you know, when you're already working, you're actually wearing makeup, and you have to use them to highlight your features and maybe just look better when you're working because it makes you feel a different kind of a different kind of what do you call it, a different kind of confidence when you have when you're glammed up. It's really boosting your confidence as well, especially for the ladies. Now, I'm not sure with men. Maybe with men, it's more of the good haircut or maybe good hair color. I don't know. But for women, it's like we're upping our game when we're highlighting our facial features, even our body features. So yes, you have to make conscious efforts about it, and to be able to know your potential, you really have to again go back to self discovery and just up your game, right? So whatever you're doing, do it times 10 times more so that you're just consciously putting in those efforts and you're trying so hard to work on it because people will always remember you by the efforts that you put in. Whether you win or not, people will always remember the one who put in the best efforts. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you, thank you. That's so nice. Thank you. And okay, and finally, of course, this is really something that I want to remind everyone. Okay, you have to have a mentor. Like I'm almost on my 40s, but I still have so many mentors under my no, above my wing. It's not under my wing because they're not under my wing. They're actually oh, it can be it, 'di ba? Pwedeng wind beneath my wings. So I have so many mentors depending on the skill that I want to improve or depending on the potential that I want to improve. So or depending on the potential that I want to unlock. So for example, if I'm gonna up my game on sales, I have mentor for sales. If I'm gonna up my game in, let's say, dancing, I'm gonna have a dance instructor. If I'm gonna up my fitness game, I'm gonna have my fitness coach. You really have to have a mentor for each of the potentials that you want to unlock. So, wag niyo tipadin yung sarili niyo. I always say this, invest in yourself because there's only one you in this world. We've talked about it last week. So, I'm gonna remind you again, there's only one person in the world that's exactly you. Whether there are so many millions of people who lived before us and so many millions of people who are gonna live after us, so many billions of people right now who are alive together with us, but there's never going to be another person exactly like you. That's how beautiful we all are. So amazing, right? So have a mentor so that they will be the one to help you out if you need to find out about your potential. Have a mentor. I'm blessed to have you as a. Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you. What advice can you give to those who are lost and don't know what are their potentials? Oh, this is very good. I think I've been there several times. This is exactly my answer. Have a mentor. Your mentors, because I have mentors who I have been working with for like 10 years, 15 years. I have them. So they're like my reminder whenever I'm getting lost, whenever I feel like I'm like derailed from my goals. They're the ones to remind me that, hey, this was you a couple of years ago. So, just to bring you back on track. So it's really good if you have a mentor or if you don't if you don't have a mentor, you can also have like a really good friend who belongs in your A team, and that friend totally believes in your potentials. You can also have them, not necessarily a mentor, maybe someone as old as you or maybe someone younger than you, but that person knows you very well. So you can also have that, so that these people remind you about your potentials. So I hope I answered your question, Mark. Thank you so much for the question. Um, if you have potentials, use it properly, develop it to help you and to others. That's so true. Thank you, Sir Noel. No need to brag it to it and others to see it. Yes, that's so true. Thank you for that. And also, Sir Noel, thank you for being one of my mentors. You're like a big brother and a mentor to me. Thank you so much. I have so many friends who are watching right now, but are very silent in the background. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. So yes, and I'm really grateful for my mentors. So thank you to all the mentors. I think some of my mentors also watch my live podcasts. So now we call this podcast. Okay, I talk too much. Potential is one of the talent that we have to take good care of. Yes, yes, that's so true. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so this will be my last slide for tonight. Okay, so yeah, I'm sharing something from Confucius. I think I have to just share this. Okay, let me just. Okay, so the will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential, these are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Okay, so hope you heard me when I said that. Most of us are really just so doubtful about what we can do, and we are just so obsessed with the idea that we are not good enough. I've talked about this several in our past episodes. We've talked about this with different people I've had in this podcast, and really we have we are constantly reminding everyone to just find out more about yourself and just stop listening to people when they tell you that you're not good enough, because really it's an inside job. Success is always an inside job. Whatever you want to achieve, you can make it happen, but the first thing you have to do is to embrace yourself, find out more about yourself, love yourself so 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 badly that nobody that you wouldn't need love from anybody else. And that's where you start succeeding, and that's where you start being a magnet to people who also believe in you. When you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. So you really have to focus on yourself first, improve yourself, develop yourself, fall in love with yourself, so that people will also be able to fall in love with you, or maybe trust you or believe in you. It always starts with you. That's a good thing, right? We can control it. We can do something about it. We don't have to rely on other people for us to be successful. You just have to start loving yourself first, and unlock your potential. Oh, this is remember the box, get out of the box and be potential enough to face the challenge. The challenge, sorry, this is really small. The challenge he encounters every day. Yeah. Yes. And also, sorry, Sir Noel, I always think that there's no box. Sir Joseph, right mindset and attitude can help you develop your potentials. True. That's so true. I think that's the summary of everything that I've said tonight. Sir Noel, ganyan tayo eh. Love ourselves first. Relate much. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed this episode of our Motivation Monday. It's been a really happy Monday for me. I hope you also enjoyed our your Monday. I don't know what you did with your Monday, but Monday is usually a good day for me. I really enjoy Mondays because I can start a new goal or start a new life. I don't know, it's always the start, right? Monday is always a fresh start. I'm always excited for Mondays. So yeah, that's why it's called Motivation Monday. So I'm sharing my positive vibes. Hope hope it radiates and hope you get it. Um, yeah, I'm just so happy that you're there and you're listening to this. And if this video helps you out, hopefully you can also share it with people who need it. So there you go. That would be it, I think. Great. I'm wondering why my name never appeared on the. Oh, there you are. I'm wondering why my name never appeared on the live stream. So there it is. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll have another episode for tomorrow. It's gonna be Thinking Tuesdays, and also please, if you have any suggestions on our next episodes, please feel free to share them. I'll also be announcing a new collaboration with an organization, so we're looking forward to that this month. Yeah, this no, it's still June, so yeah, it's gonna be launched in July or hopefully August. So we'll also be watching out for that. And thank you, everyone. It's just sharing my happy vibes today. Hope it radiated. Hope you resonated. And sorry for the burp. I'm just so full of chocolates, I think. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay motivated, unlock your potential. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. God bless you.